let's get into. We have one more
Oh
safety
my.
to go into. We talked about this guy just a little bit ago there as a bubble kind of guy there, and that's really what he is if we're being honest. And there's Gervarrius Owens, um, 7th round pick last year out of Houston, and 24 years old now, 6 foot even, 200 pounds. Now, this is what's weird about these when you draft a player. We talk about that like, I think like every episode. We're talking about these players here. So Dane Belton, who's going into his third year now, is younger than Gervarrius Owens, who's going into second. It's just weird to me like that at that point when that kind of stuff happens. Anyway, last year played in 3 games, not a single start, had 1 tackle, 1 fumble recovery, appeared in such little snaps that PFF didn't even give a grade. He spent most of the year on the practice squad. So, we don't really know fully well what to even think of the guy, except for the fact that obviously he didn't wow and go crazy in preseason, off-season workouts last year and stuff like that. But they liked him enough to hold on to him. So he's kind of like one of these guys. Like, it's the project. Let's see what we can develop him into. But he's definitely got the athletic skills. Like you heard about him a little bit last, OTAs. Ironically, we're talking about OTAs. Right now we're in the middle of those right now. Last year, remember his name kept popping up during the OTAs, and again, Giants writers like to pop up and make every single draft player, look a lot better than they actually are sometimes. But you still have to make some kind of play to get noticed and written up about. You can't be like, he drank a good glass of water.
Yeah, he likes blue Gatorade.
Like you still have to do something to get mentioned at that point. There, like, blue Gatorade. Now, I heard a recipe on TikTok. I guess we get sidetracked here. It was they got a jar of lemonade. You pour about a quarter to a half of it out, depending on how strong you want to make the drink. You put in a packet of Kool-Aid Blue Raspberry, and you fill up the rest with vodka. Shake it up, and supposedly it's amazing, by the way. But it looked just like blue Gatorade, so maybe think of it. I'm not saying it's good yet. I haven't tried it. Next family function, I will probably bring it along, which sounds weird to bring that to a family function. But listen, both both my families, we drink here, both mine and yours and my wife's at that point there. We're all drinkers, so
I know what you're talking about.
yeah, exactly. So it's okay. Anyway, the big thing is this year is Gervarrius Owens now in his second year. You don't mind holding onto a player you just drafted for a little bit and put him on the practice squad, see what you can do to develop him, especially when they've got Jerome Henderson that I trust. I know you trust a lot as well to develop these young guys. He's got a really great track record making guys look like good players that maybe didn't look that good before they got there. Fabian Moreau is a classic example. We talked about him. The big thing is it gets to a time period where you don't mind holding on to a guy for a year, maybe a second, but it's not a given. Definitely not a third. Like eventually you're out Bachman there, and you got to go. Like, like you've already seen that you're just not that good, and you're not going to make it to where we need you to be, and you got to go. So it's an important year for Owens, that's for sure, to at least try to get, not necessarily be a full-time active roster player, but at least get in the field a whole lot more than 3 games and have 1 tackle on the season.
Get a PFF grade.
Yeah, like he's got to develop a little bit. So the question comes in to be, can he earn time on the field? And I think that we talked about it before. I really think Dane Belton's not the guy he's fighting for a roster spot. I think it's Jalen Mills. And we talked about it before, the age thing. It's a positive. It's a negative for Mills there at that point because he's a little older, but he's also a little bit more of a mentor and a veteran at that point. They're in a very young group. But Owens has that possibility to overtake him, I feel like, and take that spot. He's just got to play really well this offseason and this preseason. He's got to show it. He's got to outshine him.
I mean, you're not wrong. Like I said before, when we're talking about Mills, like I wouldn't be surprised, but at the same time, you're talking about us. It's his second year. He's got time to, I don't want to say develop because I hear what you're saying, but same time, like you want to bring a guy like Mills with the veteran leadership, and as long as he's jiving and mixing with these guys in the secondary, like
then you really gotta jump and jiving. Then
like
you really gotta.
he can really get those guys grooving in the backfield. Like that might be more viable, if you will.
It's like a jump and jiving in my head now. Damn that! Yeah, you Brian Setzer in your orchestra.
But a guy like Mills in the backfield that gets a whole, secondary moving or working right might be more important than taking a shot on the guy that you got in the 7th round that you don't know.
It very well might, which kind of answers the question that we had next year: is he destined for the practice squad again? And I think he probably is. I do think Mills is probably going to get the edge over him at this point there, barring any injuries or any crazy rise by Owens or catastrophic drop by Mills, if that makes sense. But as far as what I think a ceiling for him is going to be in this is, I think this year the what we probably should think is, and I don't want to put this out there because I feel like I'm going to come off as the most negative Nancy ever at that point there. I'm going to be the Debbie Downer in this whole scenario here. But it's like, let's be honest, the Giants have a history, and it's not just of winning Super Bowls, it's about having injured players. And when that happens, he's going to get a chance to play. He's going to get a chance to go on the active roster at that point there. And I think that's his time to shine. I think he starts the season on the practice squad. And I think his best bet is when he gets the chance to get up to the big leagues there, so to speak, gets that call up. But he's just got to hit it out of the ballpark here, to use 2 different baseball analogies there. And I think once you get him up there and you get him in there, if he can show what he can do physically and have to translate to the field, he might not go back down.
You might be right. I mean, that's a lot of ifs, so.
I may be crazy, but it just may be a lunatic
that you are looking for.
Turn off the lights. As Paul says, Giants all the way, baby. I don't know why, Paul, and I don't even know what your voice sounds like, obviously, but I read that and I'm thinking Dick Vitale. I really, that's where I'm going 100%. Giants all the way, baby. Like I can't do a good Dick.
Let's go.
Voice. I can't do a good Dick Vitale voice, but he's a legend. Every time I hear anybody talk sports, say the word baby, and I just go right to him automatically.
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support.
Thanks so much.